Hi guys, Team Biscuit back with another video, and I'm just gonna be going over how to play Shadow of Mordor with using my script, just for the people who don't know how to read it yet, or it looks very overwhelming. So just quickly go over it. Yes, there's a lot of buttons, but you don't really have to use all of them right off the bat, just because you have to upgrade your character to unlock other abilities. So we look at it. You're probably gonna have the first slot available once you start upgrading. You got execution, you got impact, which is easy. You got aerials from above, swift, detonate, wrath the sun, and categories. So I'm just gonna go over those first. You're gonna be using the second mode. I'm gonna use the first mode when I go down, which I'll explain right now actually. So if you're fighting, there you go. If you're fighting and you happen to go down, just give it a second. I'm probably gonna speed it up because you're gonna switch to mode 1 because you can use the left analog stick and then just go in between and click the button it responds to. You gotta be kidding me. Also, when moving around, the camera goes from left to left. It turns it to right, right to left, but that's normal. It gives the best outcome, especially when I'm going straight. So to go straight, like I mentioned, you just center puff it. It locks on after 4 seconds, but for some reason the running stops. I can't fix that, but it's better that way. Sometimes I just want to walk. You get used to it. You're gonna get your lungs stronger. So the constantly run, just keep puffing into it. Breathe out your nose. And I turn the camera view and it turns a person. Also, I have I think the grace of swiftness or whatever it's called. And that does, when I jump over little objects, it tells me to push the A button, which is on the lip, but I don't use that. I use it on the center puff, since it activates the running, which is A button. It holds the A button while you run. But once I let go, it stops. But if I keep holding it, it'll stay on, locked on after 4 seconds. So when jumping over a rock, it has this like 1 second animation where you don't really push anything, which gives me a chance to let go, take a deep breath, and blow into it again to activate the A button again. And I continue it. Takes a little bit of practice on that one. I'm not gonna lie, but you're not gonna be running all over the map like crazy. Alright, so let's talk about regular attacks. To do regular attacks, you'll be using the X button, which for me, that's the regular attack. It's right, center, sit. It's all normal. And to counter, it's right, center, puff, which is triangle or Y, depending what you're using. To walk forward, I puff into it, and it'll click the up button as well, sprint. So let's try it again. Y or triangle, right, center, puff, and it'll always counter. Right, center, puff. To attack, right, center, sip. So. And I'm just button mashing the X button. Triangle and sip it. They're right next to each other, so it can be easy for everybody. Now the wrath of the sun, which is the B button, it's right next to it. It just right puff. Right sip. and it'll punch. With that, this stuns your enemy. Let me just kill this one real quick. And when you stun them, you'll be able to do a combo after that, which after you mash the X button. Next is sneak attack. So to do that one, what I like about it, it'll sneak forever because I put it on a toggle. So you right puff it, it'll stay on there. And I set it to where certain buttons on the Quadstick will actually turn it off. So the lip button will actually turn it off. No, it won't. The lip button does turn it off. Wrath mode turns it off. You have to click it again. Ground execution turns it off, but I'll explain that a little bit. So there's buttons on the Quadstick that actually turn it off. Now to do let me go back to stealth. So once you stealth, you can kill in a certain amount of ways. Probably when you start off, you'll only be able to stealth in one way, which is the X button. But after a while, you'll be able to do like stealth drain, brutalize, and I'll show it right now. So when you're stealthing, kind of go up to them. See, nothing happens when I'm up. Stay down, say brutalize, stealth, or drain. This is a regular kill, stealth kill. Comes in handy, and you'll still stay in the stance because I set it to that. Comes in handy a lot. To go on Wrath mode, it's left sip. It's normal, but the game toggles it because, you know, it needs it to be on. It doesn't want you to hold it, and it lets you look who's around you, lets you find health, and lets you tag captains. See that? Tells me there's a captain around. So when you eye a captain, which is red, you right stick it, which is left center, left puff soft, and it'll tag him. Mark him if you want. I just want to get intel on him. So what Sif does is grab him, interrogate him, interact. I can hold him, throw him, hold up. But if I hold it for like 1 second, I'll keep on holding him, which gives me the advantage to push another button like dominate, which for you is probably intel. Get intel. Switch modes to mode 1 just so you can move up and down and get intel, or you can shank the heck out of him. Your choice. See, I can kill him at the end and I switch back. If it's doing this, it's because you have it toggled. So just click it again and it'll stop. It's also good when you're getting a Kegor. You have to be sneaking, so right puff it for stealth, and then jump on it with grabbing or interact, and then switch to mode 1 so you can make You can use the left analog stick so you can move it to the center and then push the button it asks for. Now, for arrows, it's a left center sip. If you click it, if you have the ability, you'll get daggers, which you won't get until like after three of the main missions. So you can just puff it, but hold it for 1 second till it beeps, and it'll stay toggled. You'll notice the left, right in the middle, you'll see this white bar going down. That's your focus. To deactivate it, you have to use the right stick, and for that is a left puff soft, and it'll turn it off. So I still have a little bit left, and it'll deactivate. You do it for a second, it'll go back on. It doesn't stay toggled, it just presses it. It does refill after 30 seconds. But it comes in handy, especially when I want to aim. There's 2 ways to shoot. Have it ready. Right puff it, which is sneak. And push it again to go back, because it toggles it. So hold it for you, which is great. Or, since you're just starting, mine says Shadow Strike. So it's the right center puff or the right center save, because they both have X buttons. So you can still shoot it. What deactivate it is you can do the sipping also, because it whatever turns off the right trigger, which is R2, basically the sneak button. Whatever turns it off, which is for me sipping it center sip, clicking it again for right puff, right center puff, which is ground execution. That all turns off sneak, so it will shoot. So you have multiple ways to shoot, you just gotta figure it out. Experiment with it. Now let's talk about ground executions. So when you're fighting, you'll notice little stars on top of them. So what you do, I put it to where you can sneak and attack at the same time, which is right center puff. You'll notice it'll sneak down a little bit. If you hold it, you hear it tapping. It's because it's actually repeating the buttons twice a second. I did it that way because that means I'll never miss when I do it. So here's an example. And you'll instantly stab them. You can always escape out of it by putting triangle, which, you know, for countermeasures. Stab them. Once you start stabbing them, it'll have that little animation, so you can get off of it and aim ready for the next button. When doing Shadow Strike kills, eventually, once you get it, you hold it for a second, it'll hold it, aim at your person. You can do A or Shadow Kill. So I want to do a Shadow Kill, which is X, so you can do right center puff or right center sip. They're both X buttons. You can change positions. And see how it goes back into Archer is because I never deactivated it. The only thing that deactivates it is the same button that I used to use it, so dagger, which is right center sip, or see, deactivates it. So you can't teleport while you have it cocked back. Well, you should be able to, but it lets go because I set it to that. So what you can do is puff it forward for the A button, because they both have A button. And I'll go back to it. Remember, to get the hang of it, teleport and sip it back to turn it off, so you can go back to being normal. You eventually get the hang of it. You know, more practice, the more you get it. Now it comes in handy when you want to do things like do it over and over again. Aim, knock them out. It's a little tricky on that one though. Because when you push center puff, you'll run and push A at the same time. But sometimes you don't want to knock them down. So what I do, I turn the camera view. Once I push X, whether on ground execute or right center puff, puff it, puff the center, and keep mashing the X button. Because it gives this slow down time. It gives you this slow motion time, which is great. Gives you enough time to activate it. You get the hang of it. Took me a little while to do it, but I got it down. The next things are executes. So when you do it, your sword will start glowing. To activate it, you center puff it, and it'll activate the YB motion. If you can't move from ledges, go to mode 1, move over, hit the A button, and you'll go back up. Execute. YB. See? One puff of left puff will activate it. And it'll actually go to the closest one. So you don't really have to be looking at the person. Just puff it, and if they're nearby, the character will actually run towards it. That works for ground executions, wrath flash. So that one's a little tricky. It's an awkward motion, but you'll get the hang of it. It's X and A. So I do the lip and right center sit at the same time. I'll cover that. I'll cover wrath burn, which is once you pin them down, you'll do that, which is Y, X and Y. And you're wondering how the heck do I do that? I actually put it in there, but you have to be very quick on it. Let's see. Combat drain. It's also another one. It's A and B. When doing it, obviously I'm going to be used for the wrath flash. I'll be using right center sip at the same time as the lip, or simultaneously. It's a little tricky, but you'll get the hang of it. To do the wrath flash, wrath drain, you're going to actually right center sip softly for a second. So what I like to do, as it's doing the slow motion feature within the combat, it gives me enough time to time it right. So when he finishes his execution, or when he's doing his motion, it lets me combat drain or combat execute. Here's an example. Gotta time it just right. Now for the second one. Go execute it. I gotta time it just right. And if someone's around you, you have to push Y. Instead of activating it, the wrath burn, it would actually just counterattack because it has Y implemented within that combo. Now for wrath, combat drain comes in handy once you get it. It replenishes your arrows. To custom that one, close the prison. So while doing little animations, I time it just right. So when it ends it right at that exact point, I'll do it. To once you brand them, which is like almost at the end of the game, to activate them, I center sip soft. They're automatically activated, but I mean, it's kind of cool to have the noise going. To kill them, I would have put his center puffs off, but I actually pushed it accidentally. So to kill them, it's a D-pad down, I believe. It's going to be right puff soft, which is like where the stealth is located, but do it softly for a second. There you go, that's it.